I'll do it.
Go for it.
On this week's episode of Stormwater Creek, we'll be talking about public lands, how to find them, what they are, and all that fantastic stuff.
And all that fantastic stuff.
I'm loving the new intro. It's great. I like how it just keeps moving around. So, if you hear birds in the background, we're not at legal. We're at Austin's apartment, and there's birds that live
On my patio.
on the patio.
They're barn swallows. They eat bugs.
Oh, you got a
I'm
nice
into
clean
that.
patio.
Mm-hmm.
So Austin invited us over to his house, and he made banh mi squirrel and pig lasagna.
It's delicious.
It was very good. I'm gonna get some of that lasagna here in a minute for show.
So what's on the docket list today?
I was going to say, what makes it banh mi?
It's just an Asian style sandwich. Traditionally, you'd use a hoagie bun, but I use sliders since there's multiple of us. Hoagie bun, like pickled carrots and daikon,
It was good.
cilantro, yeah, sriracha mayo, marinate the meat in kind of an Asian marinade. It has to be oil, rice wine vinegar, soy, jalapeno, garlic for a while. Then I confit it in the sous vide machine, so cooked it in a bunch of fat
For how
for
long?
like 16 hours.
I want one of those sous vides so bad.
You should get one. They're cheap on Amazon right now, $135.
I
What
know.
do you,
Huh?
Yeah. You're fine.
We have guests.
We have,
What were
There's-
you? What were you about to say?
I don't know, something about a sous vide.
What about it?
well, I was going to say, when you get a sous vide, what is something you look at for a sous vide?
Maybe we
Like-
explain
I've got
what
the-
a sous vide is.
I've got the Innova unit. Shout out Innova. Give us a ring if you want pro staff.
Exactly.
This one had good reviews. They make an 800 watt Bluetooth only model, and they make a 900 watt Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. I got the 900 watt because of heating power, and the Wi-Fi capability is cool to be able to start it from the office. I can put it in cold water when I leave for work, and it'll, stay at safe temperature, and then kick it on at the office when I know I'm be home in X number of hours and have dinner basically ready. So I dig it. And 900 watts, like I've got a cooler I drill a hole in. I've done full pork shoulders for like 2 days, and that 900 watts comes in handy to keep it at temp and hold it at temp,
Yeah,
and with
something
that
that
much
big.
volume. Yeah. So
What have,
there's lots of them out there. You probably won't go wrong with any.
what have you cooked in them before? I like the Wi-Fi.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's your favorite thing you've cooked in it?
Oh, that squirrel's pretty good.
That squirrel
But
is awesome.
it's a steak game changer.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring that term back. Since
Bringing it back.
Didn't Rogan steal it from us?
Yeah, Rogan absolutely stole Game Changer from us.
And Meat Eater stole fishing podcasts from us.
No, they were fishing on the ice the other day, and I turned it on. I was like, we did that.
They did.
It's
We
pretty
fished
fun.
in the ice?
No, Jordan.
We did. You were passed out.
Oh, sounds right.
Things happened.
What?
But yeah, steaks. Steaks are always awesome because you can cook them for a handful of hours and they get fork tender.
That was the
And
thing about that squirrel was just like butter. It just was like,
cooked in a bunch of fat too.
Yeah.
I didn't have any duck fat, so I did olive oil. Which I think next year I'm gonna render out all my ducks. They won't have as much fat as a farm duck, but I've been bad about saving fat.
yeah,
I don't even have any bacon fat, and it's necessary.
yeah. It's a must-have.
Burgers are cool if you do a fresh grind them yourself out of something nice, and you can make a real thick burger that's medium all the way through.
Mm.
So that's cool.
So just
Don't do potatoes. Don't do mashed potatoes. None of the starch gets boiled out, so it's basically a bag of glue.
Ooh.
It's just really gross.
Uh,
Corn on the cob's awesome.
Okay.
Um,
So we got burger. What do you just individually wrap those up, or just?
no, I mean you get your vacuum bag and just kind of set them in there, so they're separated.
Yeah.
And as it seals, it's going to seal in between them, so there's a little gap. And you don't you can do it two ways. You don't have to have a vacuum sealer or sous vide. Ziploc brand bags are safe, and you can do fill up your sink with water and submerge it and push all the air out and close it.
Mm-hmm.
That's better to do with burgers because if you're doing a thick one and you vacuum seal, it's squished thin.
Okay.
So it's better just to submerge burgers and seal them off.
Okay. That's good advice.
Pork chops are awesome. I've never been a fan much until this. My mom would cook them in a shoe leather,
Yeah.
but you can sous vide them, get them real tender for hours, do 10 hours or something, then just
Oh.
sear them real quick.
Get that little charred crust on
and
the
put
outside.
some herbs and stuff in there with them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, sous vide is definitely something. I do a lot of crock pot cooking because I like to set it and forget it type thing, and I think the sous vide would be a next iteration of that.
It basically is, yeah. You have way more control, obviously. Ungulates. I've done Nilgai. I've done a lot of deer with sous vide. Man.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you cook a deer, a whitetail backstrap, whitetail tenderloin for like 12 hours, and sear it off real hot in canola oil, and I mean you can cut it with a fork.
I'm
And then
doing that,
I mean I think I posted pictures of that whitetail roast I did. I did that thing for a day, 24 hours, and seared it, and that was prime rib.
Yeah.
Like legitimately. So
Just
I
straight
put
up.
horseradish on it, and it was ridiculous. And then, left the leftovers I shaved thin and made a bastardized version of Philly cheesesteak with it, and it was
I wanna
unbelievable.
get a meat shaver.
Harbor Freight has a cheap one. I've thought about buying it because I mean it's cheap.
fucking
I'm
love
not going to
Harbor
use it
Freight.
like all the time.
Yeah.
Let's
Harbor
get one
Freight is the shit.
for throwaway things. Yes,
Like I
for
love going
screwdrivers, for pliers.
there. Yeah.
Never buy sockets or box ends there.
Yeah.
No way.
They're terrible.
No, because it's soft metal and you need things to be exact. Buy
Yeah.
nice tools on those. Screwdrivers and pliers, so you can use them as chisels and stab shit, and they can rust out in your
Yeah.
fishing in your kayak. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the place to buy that stuff, but not
I bought myself
not exact tools. Not.
I bought myself a Dremel there.
See, that works.
Yeah. It was awesome. For like $14.
Exactly.
Some-
'Cause how often are you going to use it?
like I use it one time to cut a hole in my kayak, which sounds weird, but I was putting a fish finder in, so I was mounting a switch. So
Oh yeah, I've seen your switch box.
yeah,
It's good.
I mounted.
You got 2 USB plugs, which is nice.
Yeah.
I'm kind of jealous of that because we talked about me remounting my lights
hmm
on my hard deck up there.
We're gonna get that fish finder that Lorenz hooked for. I'm gonna give to old Jordan here, so he'll have a fish finder in his boat now. So that Ray Marine is awesome, man.
Right. We
It's-
should. Did you take? You took a couple pictures of it, right?
Mhm.
So we'll post some of those on show notes.
Yeah,
We should start show notes.
show noting. Yeah, that Ray Marine that was crazy. The difference that thing has. I mean, the bottom, everything looked good. It just was a lot better of a picture, and I'm interested in seeing kind of like what that garbage, just like all the garbage in that creek. I want to get it out on like a lake where you've got less debris.
Yeah, and if you played with the settings, you can split the screen. I think I showed you that last
Yeah.
time. So it's interesting to see the down vision versus normal sonar.
Sonar, yeah.
Just it cleans it up so much because I guess the algorithms just recognize like that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like ignore that. So it just cuts it
Yeah.
out.
It was nice to have that thing.
Yeah. It's
I,
cool when I mean Rowlett Creek's so nasty right now.
Yeah.
But you get out in some clear water in the lake, it's cool shit.
Yeah.
You can see trees, legitimate trees on
Yeah.
the bottom and
I
stuff.
was looking at. They were showing pictures of I was watching a YouTube video, the difference between sonar and that with that Ray Marine, that Dragonfly 4, on like a boat over like a shipwreck.
Yeah, and you can see it.
It's like perfect shipwreck, where before it just looks like it's kind of part of the bottom, you know?
Have you seen the one where they have the picture of the turtle and you can see the
Yeah.
turtle?
It's like a
crazy.
group of turtles.
Yeah.
And yeah. So
It looks like a turtle.
It's a turtle, yeah, which is pretty nice to have underneath. So I'm interested in kind of getting it on the lake, and I was trying to get out this weekend and do some, but the wind this weekend in
No way.
Dallas has
And it
been
got cold this morning.
ridiculous.
Holy shit.
Like, I was fine temperature-wise if the wind just wasn't. But I swear to God, on the paddle back in off Rowlett Creek yesterday, I thought I was going to die.
Good thing you had your stabilizers.
Ugh. Like, just dragging that boat, like, into the wind was
I was out on
terrible.
White Rock one day. It was crazy windy. I almost went back, then I decided to go up the creek, and it was fine. I sat out there
Yeah.
till an hour after dark just so it would die down.
Yeah.
It was bad. I saw a bunch of people back on the creek that day.
Yeah.
Very surprising. Nobody caught shit, obviously.
No. I wonder if they should be. I mean, the water temperature is much better than it was when we were doing the liquid desert nonsense.
Yeah, can't
Because
stand that.
That was 55 degrees, and the temperature was 68. The water was actually like I was considerably warmer than
It was?
the air temperature. Yeah, it was. I got up as high as 69 degrees temperature-wise in the water.
You were heading toward lake, right?
Mhm.
So south.
So yes, south. I got pretty far. I got almost all the way to the lake. Some different areas of places that I've never been before. So lots of ducks, lots of carp, lots of gar.
See, I've got to get back from this turkey hunt before I outfit my bow for bow fishing.
Yeah, I'm gonna
You got to get yours done
Yep.
yesterday.
take my
Get
hunt
with
to
it.
Outdoor Pro Shop.
I actually think I'm not gonna have a bow fishing rig this summer.
Why? You own one
I'm gonna take it and give it to Austin
to bow fish?
to bow
to,
hunt.
to hunt with.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna take
Oh,
it
wow.
back to a
We
hunting
have
rig.
the other Austin on.
Are
now.
you left eye? We have a guest now.
No, right eye dominant.
Okay, then never mind. Because I think I may sell my rig to Steven Ninja.
Yeah.
Because he's left eye dominant.
You're left eye dominant?
Uh-huh. I've always shot left-handed. You know that.
I
That's the
shoot-
devil's work.
I shoot left-handed as well.
Yeah, so does he.
So does this one.
Yeah, exactly.
Are we like outnumbered here?
Yeah. We're rising up!
It's actually weird how many people I know now that are left eye dominant. Braley's left eye dominant for
Yes.
shooting and stuff.
Well, people don't know how to shed.
And so
They
is
just think they're a bad shot until they figure it out.
Use the hand method where you
Yeah.
put your hands
Yeah,
up
do a
and
triangle.
pull it.
Yeah.
Yeah, triangle. Yeah. Or
Yeah.
you could take a CD and you stick it out. And
Yeah.
pull it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
You don't want to
what's the
make
CD?
Whatever gets thrown.
A compact disc.
I know. I came
But what-
into your
what-
apartment today, and I was like, "Wow, there's an actual binder with CDs, well,
Those are
DVDs,
DVDs.
But that's
I
the
had
same
so
thing.
many that
gotta
I was like,
get
I
that,
can't
yeah.
throw those away.
No.
But I'm not keeping all those cases. I remember throwing away boxes and boxes of cases, and I'm sure somebody looked in the dumpsters like, holy shit, it's a gold mine, and they're all empty.
Oh my god! Just remember when it was like so cool to have like a
A
rack
shitload of DVDs. Oh, yeah.
Now I'm like, fuck
Yeah,
that.
what was I doing? I can stream this for free off some pirate
Exactly.
website.
Some pirate website. Yeah.
So if you download a movie illegally, like while you're on vacation, are you a pirate of the Caribbean?
Oh my.
Dad jokes.
And we'd like to thank everybody for listening.
You're welcome for that.
And
We'll be charging for this podcast from here on out.
yeah, if you're gonna get that kind of humor, you're
Yeah,
gonna have
you
to
gotta pay for that
you're gonna
shit.
Pay for some shit like that.
All right, what else, Jordan? You have the docket list, I think. Somebody does. What else?
What else?
We've meandered. We've meandered off course far enough.
We're
I think.
15 minutes in, and it's like, all right, we're done. Thanks for listening, guys. Now, on this episode, we're really going to kind of dive into kind of our opening public land. So over the next couple weeks, it's not going to be every single week, but between now and really the start of deer season and duck season, we're going to break out every single piece of public property in the state of Texas and go over it in some extent. So we're going to basically go off of just kind of high level of what the plan is so the book that you get when you get your $48 hunting stamp.
The Bible.
Bible.
Is broken up into 8 regions, and those regions are the Panhandle region, the Trans-Pecos region, the Central Texas region, the Dallas-Fort Worth region, the Piney Woods, Austin, Waco, Houston and Beaumont, and then the San Antonio Corpus Christi regions. So we're going to go region by region, not on today's podcast, but in future podcasts, and break down each region. Because the thing is the black book, or it's black this year, but the public land hunting book only gives you land that the state of Texas Parks and Wildlife is actually managing when they get the $48 stamp. Within those regions, there's other cuts of land, right? So there, you got like U.S. Army Corps of Engineer land. What else?
You got the national forests, and
Yep.
national grasslands, which are pretty much.
And a lot of
the
those
same.
don't show up in the book much.
Caddo does, but LBJ
But
doesn't.
part of Caddo doesn't either, because I remember I got those maps up in Decatur from the office, and they do not show.
One's
They don't
up.
show the north side of Caddo. We shouldn't
They
talk
do.
about that. The Bible doesn't show those.
Yeah.
No,
That,
absolutely
that,
not.
that piece is way by itself up north. It's on there now
In the Bible,
in this year's.
I haven't looked.
But
close.
last year when we actually hunted it, it was not.
Yeah, it was not
in
there.
there,
'Cause remember,
and-
we looked at those maps, and there was a bunch of shit not there.
And that's the other thing is in the actual book that you get with your $48 stamp. when you get your license, they'll send this to you, but they're not actually very detailed.
No.
They'll
You
tell
need
you
to
where
do some legwork on your own.
Yeah, they'll tell you where creeks are, some tree lines every now and then.
You know what helps?
Onyx maps.
Onyx Maps.
See what we did there?
We have to throw a shout out. That's the best
Absolutely.
maps.
There's no doubt. They're
And their sponsor.
and their sponsor. Yeah, that helps out.
Are those the maps that we used when we were out scouting around? Where was that at?
Those Cato.
Caddo?
Caddo?
Last turkey hunting?
Or-
Or no,
Yeah.
when we were just wandering for ducks?
Yeah, we were just
In
walking
our
around.
waders?
Yeah.
I think you had.
Yeah,
I didn't have it.
that was Onyx.
Yeah, he was using Onyx.
Okay.
I've been
Yeah.
using it for a while, and it's
It's the best, by far, no question. We used it turkey hunting 2 weeks ago.
Is it so it's different from just a like regular GPS?
Oh my
type
god!
map?
You can download your map, so you don't have to have cell phone service, because your GPS always has to work by law on your phone for safety's sake.
Right.
so
And so you can you can set it to airplane mode and go hunt and still track it.
So it's an offline
Mhm.
loading
So you have
map.
offline maps. And you've got all these different layers. Like if it like that right now, since turkey season's going, they have a turkey heat layer based on kills in every unit.
Oh, a heat map.
They've got a heat map of that. They've
Oh.
got public land. They've got private land. On the private land, it shows who owns it and so how to contact them in case there's an issue. It shows the different types of public land. What else does it have? There's so many layers.
One of the things after last week's podcast with them, and just kind of looking at Colorado, especially for this elk hunt that we've got coming up, not this year, next year, but is that the roadless area map where it shows you, it's a heat map where things go from
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
purple to white to purple. That'll show you places that are remote from any kind of access roads or trailheads or anything like that. So you can really kind of find out, like, okay, I'm going to be if I'm going to try to get away from human beings, they've got that layer that'll show you
A heat map for
where that place exists
yeah.
on a map.
Where how if you've got a drainage, it'll show X miles from roads. It get the graduation.
Yeah.
It's a heat map for distance from human access.
Okay. So if your GPS is off and you have no positioning system, are they just using the accelerometer in the phone to track
Your
where
GPS
you're
won't be. I
walking?
mean,
Can't
if
turn
you
the
turn
GPS off.
you can't turn your GPS
Unless you
off.
turn your phone off.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cell phones have to have GPS signal by law.
So even in airplane mode, there's no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
That's why the best thing to do is save cell phone batteries. If you're out hunting, kick that shit on airplane mode and just use Onyx Maps.
Yep.
and
Gotcha.
turns your phone into just a legit
GPS unit. I had a dedicated one.
Yeah.
Where'd it go?
It's in my room right now. It got real wet.
That got real wet.
I flipped my kayak with it in it. Both phones, and I mean this
He
one's
also
fine.
lost his binoculars.
Yeah, I lost
Ugh.
binoculars. Everything took a drink.
So I tell you, this is totally awful, of course, but you talked about losing your binoculars on a kayak flip. There's no doubt that I will have a float on.
No question. When we go on that
Binoculars,
float, I'm
yeah.
gonna have everything
Yeah,
tied
absolutely.
up. No, I've got rod
Well,
holders.
tied up, but like
I've got rod
straight
floats
up,
in my
like,
Amazon.
floats, yeah.
I've got rod floats in my Amazon box right now.
Yeah.
Before our June float, everything's getting floaties on it. No question.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't plan to flip. I'm getting looks of judgment. I didn't think my kayak could flip. And this was in the most absurd situation. I've talked about it before. It was midday. It was 60 degrees, and I'm paddling to a tree and reach out to grab it and swiped at it and miss. And I guess since my weight was already off center, just enough hip movement, flipped it. And I've stood up in that
You
thing.
broke the water surface.
I
with
gu- yeah,
the
I guess so.
opening of
Yeah,
the
so
kayak. You
so the
leaned
surface
too
tension.
far.
But I mean, we did what, 8 hours? We did 8 hours on the Brazos that day, standing up a lot of it. So I couldn't believe I flipped it. And it was, I should have flipped it many times before
Yeah.
that. Crazy.
So you throw everything in plastic bags and put floaties on it?
I will? Dry bags. We were talking about dry
Yeah.
bags earlier.
Dry bags.
What's a dry bag?
It's a big, like, waterproof kind of duffel bag that rolls up at the top.
Mm.
And they're made for boat trips and fishing trips. So you can put shit in it and roll it up, and it floats. And your shit can't get wet because of the way it rolls.
Ah.
It's just a waterproof duffel bag, give or take.
I
I think
had
my
a-
Arctic bag may be waterproof.
It should. It is.
I'm taking that.
I had a couple packs of the Pelican desiccant. Man, it saved my life a couple times when I dropped my phone in water. Things are awesome.
This Samsung, I mean, it was on the bottom of Lake Tawakoni.
Yeah?
It was,
It
yeah,
works.
it's good to go.
You
He
found
does some weird shit sometimes. I don't know if that's just
Yeah.
me
That's you.
or if it's.
You
How
found
you
your
use
phone,
it.
but you didn't find the binoculars.
That's for another podcast.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna go get myself some
I
scuba
think
gear. And
I've said I think if we go out there with our down scans,
Yeah.
we could probably find those damn binoculars.
I don't.
as long as they're not covered in mud.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I know where they're at though. We can kick it around, and the down scan should filter out mud. I mean, it was only thigh deep. That's why I don't understand why I couldn't find them. I gridded that area off.
Oh, I'm sure.
I tied my
You
kayak
should
up.
have had him with you.
100%. They were sitting on that hard deck. Oh well, I got new ones to replace it. Abraham just got new binoculars.
I got
He
a
joined the Vortex Club.
dude. I've got those 12 by 50s.
12.
12 by 50s. So, what just happened?
Jordan dropped his knife.
I know Jordan is like the best housecast ever. He pulls his fucking pocket knife out and sticks it into Austin's table.
He's been here before.
That's what this table's for.
Exactly.
I love this table.
He's whittling away at it.
It's made of floorboards from a 1929 Tudor. It's got a screw right here in front of me.
Yeah.
Like it's cool.
Yes. Very
It's
hipster
just cool.
table.
Whatever. Don't be jealous.
You can stick your knife in it. Now, I mean,
Exactly.
if I'm really going to join this crew hardcore, I'm going to have to get a bench made and some tattoos.
You don't even
Or
carry
hey,
a pocket knife all the time.
Alternatively, you could HK, which is also
That's a
bench
solid
made.
knife.
It's a bench made though.
Yeah, I got to get a sleeve and... dude,
Is that not what we're doing? Oh, I thought that's what we were doing.
Abe forgot his pocket knife.
Abe forgot his
Abe,
pocket
stick your
knife.
knife.
So I'm going to take a picture of this.
You don't
so-
need a pocket knife to kill grass. Our friend Dan here, he's vegetarian, but he's very
No,
supportive.
no, he's vegan.
Vegan, but he's very supportive of our hunting efforts. He understands the difference between that and factory farming. We still like him. Rock on.
Conservation's fucking metal, man.
See, I don't know if y'all heard that. He said conservation's fucking metal. It
Yeah,
is.
it is. That should be a shirt.
We should make it a
We should
Stormwater
make
Creek
that a
shirt.
Exactly.
And then
Make that
sell it.
happen.
Never mind.
Nobody
Talk
take
about
this
that
idea.
take your
when you hear
picture?
Damn.
later. Show notes.
Show notes.
What if you just exchange my face for like a skull or something?
Yes.
My own face.
Put a guar face on you.
You're looking for a
Yeah.
job? Creative director. You're hired.
What do you get out of it? Pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
But you're totally hired.
All he's gonna do is do guitar solos over everything. Yeah. He's like, you don't need to talk, just do guitar solos.
He can record our intro and outro music, a new one for every episode.
Terrible. So
All right, back to the Bible.
we're off of public lands. We got on that Onyx Maps tangent,
Which is fun.
Which is good, yeah, because it's
That's a great
they're
podcast.
That was an awesome podcast. So Jordan has really kind of been the spearhead of putting together all things public land, and he's got some solid information. So Jordan, where do you find public lands? If I'm a complete newbie, where would I even find how to what are steps 1, 2, and 3 in getting onto public land?
Well, first you look at the book, figure out what you want to hunt.
But I don't even know that the book exists because I'm brand new. So
Yeah, you can mow lawns anywhere.
exactly. Step 1 is how do I even, if I don't even know anything about public lands, what is the first thing that I have to do? Where should I even go?
What just happened?
He looked at me and was like, I don't know.
So I'll chime in then.
I tried to tee you up.
Since our retarded brother's
I just-
being retarded.
All right, I'm gonna have to mark that as so. This will be like a minute 26 where Jordan loses his fucking mind.
I think you get, like you said, you get the $48 public land stamp. You get
But
a
you
book.
don't know about that.
Then
where
you
that-
haven't listened to Stormwater Creek podcast or come to
See,
Legal
that-
Draft
that's,
ever.
That's
or,
why I looked at him like,
But
I
if-
don't know, because I was
okay,
like,
if you're-
you figure out what you want to hunt,
No, but if
and you look in the book.
you're looking at this wrong. If someone's listening to this podcast, they probably listened to prior episodes, and we've talked about this a thousand
So
times.
the first thing you have to do is what?
Give a shit. That's
Okay.
the first thing you have to do. Like if you want to hunt,
Check.
like figure out where. Like I want to hunt. I didn't know about this public land stamp for a long time. I know Jordan feels the same way.
Yeah.
You probably. Then I decided to figure it out and heard from people. So you will hear Like, if you're
Yeah.
talking to people and interested in hunting and talking to people about hunting, you're going to find out about the $48 public land stamp. I feel.
So step
I
one-
think we
so-
have to wipe that. That has to be a given.
But does that give you access to the lands, or does it give you
Yes.
access to hunt on the lands?
Gives you access. You can
So,
okay.
so if I want to just go hike on the land,
you can. Pay, there's a cheaper version.
You have to have a $10.
It's $10. You can't hunt on it, but you get the same. I think you get
with
the
the same
same
access.
Same access, but you can't hunt on it.
Okay.
But $48, you have access to hunting. You get this the book. You've had the book before. So I just think talking to people, and if you really wanted to get into it, I don't think you're gonna just go, man, I really hope something works out.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna be looking into it, so you'll figure it out. Past that, the access points, man. We drove an extra 30 minutes trying to find the one access point I wanted on the top side of it wasn't Whitney. It was Aquara. Aquila, yeah. But they're so random.
Yeah.
And it's identifying your access points, because you will get tickets, or at least angry notes from game wardens if you're not parked the right spot, which I completely understand. They don't want people just parking everywhere on the side of the road and hopping fences.
Yeah.
And this was the access point, and I checked Onyx Maps and the book and Google Maps, and it was the access point, but it was an access point you had to jump the fence, which was crazy.
Yeah.
So, like, we handed shotguns over and we both jumped the fence, but it was the access point.
Yeah.
So it's really paying attention. Onyx Maps helps a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It really does.
Are a lot of these lands like carved out of property that people allow?
Yeah,
that
this one
path
had a
on?
big corridor. Had a bunch of private land right here and a bunch of private land. There was a corridor over, and then it opened up. So you had to access it there. If you accessed it above and below, you were on private land. And we were watching it, and we hiked over a ways and trying to find a stream crossing. We found one deeper. Where were we going, west? Deeper west. We headed back east, and we looked at it like, oh, we're 10 feet probably from getting on private land. No fence or anything. So that's another beauty of Onyx Maps. You watch that while you're walking. Like, we should probably go figure out something else. And we did. But, yeah, there's certain corridors somewhere that sometimes that lead up into them.
So it's that Onyx Maps is that accurate?
Yeah.
100%.
So they have to use something else, because GPS I think is only 100 feet, right? Something like that.
I mean, it's probably that, but we're getting close to.
No, I think you can combine other sensors and stuff. And be
Maybe
like,
so.
A little more accurate,
I don't know.
yeah.
Well, I mean, so the private land is taken all from the tax records.
Yeah.
So when you buy a piece of land, that's surveyed, that's submitted to the county, and then Onyx cross-references that. All that data is like open source and available to the public. So
They
So
do
as it changes, then they modify their
They do a
maps.
crazy amount of research. It's ridiculous. They call each county
Oh.
and get tax records.
Oh, that sounds complicated.
Yeah. Or we did a podcast last week with them. We released it. No.
Yep.
We have. Yeah. And they were like, yeah. I mean, they just call everybody. I'm like, call everybody.
There's
And he's like, yeah, we call everybody. I'm like, holy shit.
Every county.
Okay. All right then. That's why I'm okay to pay for this.
Yeah.
Forever.
Somebody's doing the work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
$30 a year for a state, I believe it is. For one state, you could just hunt Texas. That's nothing.
No.
That's how much legwork they've done.
And just how nice it is to be able to know everything.
Yeah. So I mean, even if you're 100 foot off, a lot of the time there is a fence.
Yeah.
So even if it's 100 foot off, you're like, there's a fence. That's probably it. No big deal. We found a feeder just on the other side of a fence, and we were looking at it. And I walked up to the fence and dropped a pin, and it could have been 50 or 60 feet off I was on my phone on Onyx Maps. So I mean, there's probably that,
to
but
be
you can
that
tell.
close, yeah.
I mean, it's not like, all right, should I shoot this deer or not? Like, no, the deer's clearly more than 100 feet
Yeah.
that way. Like,
Not worth it,
it's
right?
definitely it's 100% worth it. But where did we rabbit trail from?
What do you need to even start hunting? Like to figure out public lands. So the
I
first thing
mean-
is the $48 hunting stamp you got to have.
That I mean, I think backcountry hunters and anglers, each local chapter, each state chapter is very useful. There's always gonna be people somewhere near you who are probably super happy to nerd out with you about hunting.
Absolutely.
Trying to seek out those places, local sporting stores,
yeah, groups.
fishing shops, anything like that. You can start talking about it, asking questions.
Just hanging around.
Most
Asking.
people are willing to help you find what you need, and in the hunting and fishing
community. Yeah.
community.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get a coordinate to a spot, but you're definitely going to say, yeah, if you...
Hell,
for
you
this-
might.
You might. You never know.
I mean, they're deer hunters and duck hunters hold them tight, but other than that,
We've
you know,
had a few people almost put us right on
Yeah.
their actual spot.
Yeah, it's just about... I think it's about getting involved and just kind of asking and finding out.
I mean, the number of hunters is declining still.
Yeah.
But I think the numbers that are sticking around are becoming more passionate. You know, from the people I see, but there's always going to be someone around to do it. So, and you know, a lot of people who don't hunt ask, like, you take somebody hunting, you want more hunters? Like, doesn't that encroach on your opportunity? Like,
No.
maybe to a degree, but I don't think to a big enough degree to matter.
I think
But it also
most
supports the
hunters are-
industry, and
yeah.
it shows that we care. And so things that like public lands and like hunting access, if nobody's using that shit, they're going to give it away. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be gone. Government, like, oh, nobody uses this? Boom, we'll sell it off to these oil companies. They can drill, or they
Yeah.
can mine, or whatever. It'll be gone.
I think a lot of people too. I think a lot of hunters. You know, there's obviously some exceptions to this rule, but I think most people really and truly enjoy taking somebody out who's never been before, getting somebody out who's like never done it, is super interested in doing it, and showing them the roads. I think that's super
Yeah.
rewarding for somebody to go out and have
Like
that-
the orphan hunt.
the orphan hunt.
We take orphans hunting.
Okay.
Yeah, and like that super interests me. Like these these kids who want to go do this and don't have the opportunity. Like, who knows how many of them there are, you know? And that's something, you know, I know we're all passionate about. I want to be involved with it because if there's somebody who really wants something and is willing to listen, I can talk all day about it. I mean, I think that's the idea behind this whole podcast.
100%.
So, just introducing people to the opportunity so maybe they pursue it further and, you know, increase the number of hunters, the number of people caring, the number of people with a voice, so it resounds a little deeper than just the internet,
Agreed.
if that makes sense.
100%. I mean, I think the internet too is a great. Obviously, it's a resource that I use pretty heavily
Sure.
to, you know, to get information because it's easier to connect with people. But all right, so we know where to go, what to get, right? Stamp. We know that we kind of just engage with people. With that $48 stamp comes a book that gives you a listing of public lands, not all of the public lands. Which, Jordan, what has been really your best asset in finding those places like a lot of the Corps of Engineer land that is not included in the $48 stamp book that you get?
Google searches, looking around the internet, and again, talking to people. I think my biggest source was having someone actually send me a link to the Corps of Engineers. I don't know what that document's called, but there's actually a document that I searched around and
PDF,
someone
right?
actually helped me find that literally lists out every single lake that the Corps of Engineer has land on, and it will tell you pretty much like the book that you get from Texas. It'll tell you what you can hunt on it, what fees are there, when hunting seasons are, how much land is there, all that stuff. And there's a lot of land out there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we ever figured out. Has anyone ever tried to figure out is the 1.7 million acres that Texas has for public lands? I don't think that counts the Corps of Engineer lands, does it?
I don't know. Does it count that? Does it count National Forest? Does it count BLM? I don't know that number.
I don't know if we have any BLM land here in Texas, do we?
I don't think we have BLM.
BLM, Bureau of Land Management?
That's correct. Yeah.
Ah, I
Look at
guessed.
that.
That was a total guess.
Look at you, kid.
Look at that.
You listen.
So that's pretty popular in the. That's a huge. The largest land management organization in the entire United States is the BLM.
So it's a federal.
Yeah, it's a federal.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously huge in the West, but in places like Texas, where 97% of the property is owned by the public, like by private citizens, you're not gonna. There's just not much BLM land. Most of it's
Hold on.
national forest land. Most of it's going to be state leased land from a river authority, right? So most of the public land in the state of Texas, not all exceptions, but for the most part, is going to be some sort of river authority owned land that the state is leasing. And it's floodplains that
There's
you're.
a tiny bit
Oh yeah. A tiny bit of
along the
BLM
Red
land.
River,
Yeah.
South
BLM.
Bank.
Okay. So there's a little BLM land here.
Mhm.
But most of the public land in Texas is going to be like a floodplain that it's unusable to an individual to farm on or to I mean, I'm sure if you wanted to go in there and do a lot of work, you could get it ready to graze cattle on or something. But it's floodplain, so you never know what's going to happen. I mean, we've lost. Well, we haven't lost, but we've gotten really close over the last year or two of losing cameras because it floods. I've had trail cam pictures where the bottom of the picture is just I mean, it's like the camera's sitting on top of the water almost.
So you can leave your cameras out there and you're just kind of
Still crossing your fingers.
crossing your fingers.
Yeah.
If you
I mean,
get in
it's-
deep where our cameras are at, if somebody can find them, good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
They're
earned
deep.
it.
They earned it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, right?
It's a couple mile kayak way around and out, and
yeah.
much less a hike in.
If you're
So
hiking
not
in,
not likely somebody will come across it.
Yeah, and if anybody's out that deep, they're probably doing the same. And
yeah.
something we've learned, and it just seems in general community is that hunters are pretty respectful to other hunters.
Yeah. Especially if you're in that deep.
Yeah,
You're coming across somebody who's there to hunt, not to steal a trail camera.
Yeah.
So
You
my
know.
sunglasses I lost a couple years ago, that they're probably still there.
Where'd you lose them? I forget.
We were out duck hunting somewhere, and I dropped my super nice sunglasses.
Oh, was it at Ray Roberts?
I think so.
We weren't that deep.
Oh.
No.
Yeah,
So they're gone.
That was, we were gallivanting around taking pictures of flowers.
Oh.
They're
Yeah,
gone.
those were nice flowers, though.
They were. I still have the pictures. They're real pretty. Show notes.
Show notes. Exactly. But, I mean, duck hunting you're probably not getting as far back as you are with deer.
It depends on how long you walk around a certain pond, but that's neither
true.
here nor there.
That's another story altogether.
It comes up like every once a month.
Once a month we talk about all y'all's GPSs are wrong. So, who are the organizations that manage land in the state of Texas?
One more time.
What are the organizations that manage land in the state of Texas?
Army Corps,
Okay.
National Forest, whoever, the Fed.
Okay.
And that's about it, I think.
Texas Parks and Wildlife.
Yeah,
Parks and Wildlife.
TVWD. That's it.
Okay. So, as far as the rules for public hunting, where are those housed and kept?
Good question. I mean, Texas Outdoor Annual and the Bible. But then, no, wait. The public land, you held up the public land hunting
Map booklet?
on the public hunting lands map booklet per the official title. I mean, that gives the per unit rules,
That's correct.
but the general rules are always in the Outdoor Annual,
That's correct.
which comes out, I mean, August 31st every year is when you re-up. They'll have them piled up at any sporting goods store that you can get your license at.
Yeah.
You've got to cross-reference them. Just because you can rifle deer hunt doesn't mean you can rifle deer hunt much of anywhere on public land. We were just having that conversation about
Super
pigs
limited.
recently, today. Bow hunt. That gives you so much more access. That's the only reason I started bow hunting.
that's why we were talking about giving Austin my bow, start getting him ready so he can do more public lands, more opportunities.
Good dude, watch the Cabela's Bargain Cave. That's where I got mine for nothing. It was brand new.
What? The what?
My bow.
No, the
Cabela's Bargain Cave.
Bargain Cave.
It's where they,
What's
like
that?
anytime anyone returns something to Cabela's, they will not put it back on the shelf as new. It has to go in the bargain cave, so it's super discounted. I mean, I walked out with my bow with everything but a release for $200.
That's cool.
Why not buy things and return them and have somebody else go buy it?
Oh my God! She
Every-
just cracked the program.
Podcast's over.
That's why we keep.
We
her
got to go to
around.
Cabela's.
We gotta go to Cabela's.
But yeah, just watch Bargain Cave, man. Go check it out every weekend. I ran across a left-handed bow up there when I bought mine, and I was like, all right, I don't know anything about bows really. You all check this out. And I understand. Granted, okay, it wasn't the same guy running the Bargain Cave as it was in the archery, quote, pro shop, for lack of a better term. And I said, is there anything wrong with this? Like, I'm trying to get into this. I don't know much about it. And he said, man, this thing looks like it's been shot maybe a dozen times, if that. He said, we see so many bows come back. Someone goes home, decides they can't pull it, their shoulders hurt, they're old dudes, or their wife goes,
The fuck?
shit, no. You take that thing
Yeah,
back.
We're going to the Bahamas.
Yeah. So it just there's
Paris.
always a pile of bows in
Or
there.
Paris.
Yeah.
And they're brand new. I mean, I know Jordan's beat on his bow fishing rig. I'd rather see you spend a couple $100 on something new that. You know.
Yeah, but he will eventually. Though. This is just for him
Yeah,
to
it's
get in the
just,
backyard and
right.
start pulling it back and getting used to it. And then-
I think that's the best thing about a bow is it's so you
Just
can
a-
use it in your backyard.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yep.
really. I mean, as long as you've got a little bit of
Or
space.
in your apartment.
Or in
like
your
Cameron and
apartment.
myself.
Exactly.
as long as you don't
What's
have
the
any
equivalent
furniture.
of throwing lead downrange? What's the equivalent of that in
Slanging
bow hunting terms?
arrows.
Slanging arrows?
Let it fly.
Slanging
Let it fly.
arrows.
Throwing sharp sticks.
Throwing sharp sticks.
Yeah. Which is a lot of fun. I've been doing it every single day since I got my new bow, which I got mine on eBay, but you've got to be kind of you have to that can be quite the adventure. Seeing a bow sight unseen, you don't know what
Yeah,
you're getting.
you're gambling to a degree.
Huge
Yours,
gamble.
you're pretty lucky though, right? Like
I got super lucky.
Did you already take it to the pro shop?
No, it's going to Outdoor Pro Shop this week to get looked at.
He's been emailing me left-handed bows a lot
Yeah.
because he knows I'm ready to buy a nice one. If I get drawn for the elk hunt this year, I will buy a new one before.
That's why I bought my bow that I got because I'm in the shape like that. I've got a bow now that will allow me to hunt an elk. You know, so the bow I had before, which was a very old PSE Nova,
It's
which
okay.
is older than dirt. I killed a deer with it. It was great. It's gonna be an awesome bow fishing rig.
The only thing I've killed with mine is that ram. And it was still all kinds of fucked up.
Yeah. I don't think I've heard the story of that.
It doesn't matter. It's all kinds of dirty.
It happens.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I want to go on an
That one
axis
was all
hunt.
kinds of fucked up.
I want to go on an axis hunt.
A
That's-
coal axis hunt,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's. If anybody knows anybody who's looking to sell a meat hunt, get in touch with us.
Yeah, it has too many axis does that
Yeah.
no one will shoot
I don't even need antlers. I just want
No.
axis meat.
because it's so
It's
delicious.
so good. Actually, I've never had it. I just hear it's
have.
so good.
I should be on a Neil guy hunt in the next couple months. I'll bring us back a bunch.
I hear that is delicious as well.
Yeah, I haven't given you it. Oh yeah, you're taking a bunch of chorizo and stuff home today.
Mhm.
You too.
You too, Jordan. Okay,
We what?
so
Chorizo and stuff. Neil guy chorizo. I got a whole pile of it. Well, this is an awkward silence for no reason. I don't understand what's happening.
Jordan's been real awkward like that. I don't know. I think he's had too much. There's a lot of knives being played around in here. That is awkward. So let's get back on course here. I'm going to stop this rabbit trail from happening anymore. So what about draw hunts? What do you guys know about draw hunts?
Enter the cool ones every year. I've been bad about it. I know you've done well, or entering for antelope every year because you're going to build up preference points.
Yep.
New Mexico doesn't do preference points, so you roll that dice every year. Colorado obviously does. Texas does. There's some cool Texas draw hunts out there.
Some
Super
real
cool.
cool.
Just pay it, and they're $5 and $10 a draw. It's not refundable like other states, but it's $5 and $10. Like,
It's three.
There's some $3.
yeah.
The most all of
The
the
$10
draw
ones
hunts,
are high end bullshit.
Those are the hunts that are postcard hunts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so.
Gators.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, she's wanting to kill a gator real bad.
Yeah.
Are preference points like the longer you go without getting a draw, then you get weighted?
You save a point. You don't get drawn, you get a point. You don't get drawn, you get a point. And people with more points get drawn first.
Ah.
So like
I
our
wish
buddy.
they'd do that with like the lottery. Like,
Right?
that would be nice.
That would be awesome.
I've never bought a lottery ticket.
But different systems run different ways with preference points, right? So some people just it's a straight preference point, meaning that you buy into the lottery, right? And they give you a point, and basically you have to have X amount of points before. Not that it's a requirement, but for you to really draw, you've got to have a certain number of points.
Because there's so many people who have
yeah.
points, like you've got to have 8 or 10 preference points to even have a chance. So every year, you're entering to get your
to have the best chances, right?
yeah,
The one-offs
to get in
occur,
the-
right?
to get in the game.
But for the most part, people talk about their preference points, and they'll build up preference points in like Nevada to go elk hunting, and then they'll know, oh, I've got 14 preference points, and I know that if I burn these 14 preference points all towards this elk hunt, I'm probably going to get it.
And once you get drawn, your preference point 0 back out.
Yeah, you go back to 0.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then some places have like weird systems where like points are squared, so you collect a point and it squares it,
Yeah,
and that
that's-
gives you. So there's an application called Go Hunt.
Yeah, I was gonna say Go Hunt is. I've looked
Yeah.
into that when I really want to get serious about some places.
Abe and I were talking about Go Hunt recently.
Yeah.
We should talk about that soon for next year.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
because it gets real confusing. Like other places besides Texas, it gets.
Because we're getting. I mean, it's honestly getting. It's too late to plan an elk hunt this year.
Yeah, that's done.
If you're not in the draw. I mean, I guess you
Oh,
could
not
run
in
over
the draw. I'm.
Well,
yeah, you're
so
over
you're
the
planning to
counter.
talk over the counter.
But
If
what
I
is
don't,
what does the draw buy you over going over the counter?
Well,
Are you
some
talking
states
where,
don't
in
even
Texas?
offer.
Well, just in general.
in Texas, the things you can enter for draw, you can't hunt otherwise. Like you can get a bighorn draw, you can get like antelope draw. If you can get certain units that you don't.
So it's rarity stuff that you're not going to be able to.
It's stuff you can't
It
hunt or
depends,
they'll
too.
manage it.
So,
Like,
like-
for a good example, Dan Proctor. I think we may have talked about this on the Hogorama podcast, but him and his buddy put in for this one doe cull hunt on this piece of property, and sometimes it's giant ranches that don't do private hunts, and so they contract with TPWD, and TPWD I'm sure pays them a fee and lets them do a draw hunt, and we want to cull X number of deer. So they look at odds and all this, and they draw. Well, him and a buddy did a draw hunt. I forget where he said, but they
forget.
both killed in 2 days or a day and a half. Each killed 5 doe, so they took home 10 deer.
Yeah.
And that's just it's things like that. It was shotgun only, unlimited does. They both shot 5 does in 2
There's
days.
scimitar, like a guided scimitar.
Yeah, there's a
orc
scimitar hunt. There's a bunch of guided hunts that are $10 a
Exotic
Yeah,
hunts.
use a scimitar to.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
Just smile and nod. Just smile and nod.
Yes. So there's one place called Matador Wildlife Management Area that is only able to be accessed via
Draw.
the draw. Yeah, you can't hunt there outside of being drawn. So, and that's like a mule deer hunt. So that's a really good mule deer. It's out towards West Texas, but there's really only one place in Texas that you can over-the-counter hunt mule deer, and that's at Lake Meredith. Everywhere else, you gotta put in and get drawn. Unless you're on a private ranch, obviously. But
And so recently I've been studying pretty deep into the Oklahoma elk hunts.
yeah,
And those are once in a lifetime. Like you get preference points, but once you draw, you can never draw again. You're done.
Oh, there is preference
Wow.
points for that.
Yes.
there's also hunts like Jordan's going on next week, which is the
Hagerman
turkey hunt. So he drew a turkey tag. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff as well. That's just straight up, regular hunts, right? So I drew a whitetail deer gun hunt at a place that's a bow only. So they'll shut the whole park down, essentially, a whole wildlife management area for a weekend, and you will go and you can hunt with a gun. So, and those are typically pretty good hunts. They've got you broken out into segments, into certain little units. You hunt that unit; it's all yours. Nobody really you're very limited. There's like 30 dudes on 5,000 acres, which is a lot better than it could be.
Yeah. So it's well worth it to try to put in for a lot of these draws.
Absolutely, and the money goes to the state. Like I said, it's I spent $90 on like 15 or 20. I mean, like an ungodly amount of hunts last year. I only drew one of them, but I built a preference point in those, and then you've got obviously trying to put in for hunts in the West, depending on how gung ho you are about it, right? So these guys have been putting in for New Mexico elk, and
Does Colorado have draws too like that?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Colorado also has one of the highest amount of places that you can go hunt over the counter. So there are, I think, 89 or 90 units in Colorado that you can just go. You and I can roll up there in September, buy a tag over the counter, and go hunt in a unit.
So, and can you buy over-the-counter tags for any of the seasons? They have the 3 or 4 different seasons.
Like
for-
rifles. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it depends. So I think the first rifle season is draw only. I think the second and third rifle seasons in Colorado, you can get over the counter, and then archery.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to hunt the better seasons if you do draw.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Over the counter, there's less
Colorado.
preferential treatment.
But I mean, you still get like archery, like for elk. That's I mean, you can go hunt right in the middle of the rut with a bow, so it's not bad. All right, hey, we want to give a big shout out to Onyx Maps. They're our newest sponsor, and if you're not currently using Onyx Maps, you need to do yourself a favor and go check out onyxmaps.com. Use our promo code BHA to get 20% off of your first year. It's one of the best scouting tools that you'll ever be able to utilize and have. You can turn your phone into airplane mode, make your cell phone a GPS unit. It's really great. Stop carrying flagging tape out. Stop littering. It's terrible. Gives away all your spots. Use Onyx Maps to help you find the best place to go hunt and to get into that place and not get lost and die. Onyx Maps, 20% off using promo code BHA. Thank you, guys.
Okay, let's start over. Where were we at before?
We were talking draw hunts.
Colorado draw hunts.
Yeah, so we've got, I think, like 80 or 90 units in Colorado you can hunt over the counter. Just walk into a sporting goods store and buy a tag and go hunt.
I think that's Jordan's plan this year, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to do a solo trip?
Because over the counter, you can get for $1,000, you can get either sex elk and a muley tag, correct?
$661 for
What?
an elk tag, either
Yes.
sex.
In Colorado?
Yeah.
Yes.
$661 for an either sex elk tag.
Yeah, I was going to go either sex elk tag, and that also now this
$351
year
for
they're
a mule deer
changing
tag.
the tag where you actually get a year fishing license with.
Yes.
your-
Yeah, that's
you
fine.
do.
That's fine.
You do
All
get a
good and
fishing
fine.
license with it as well.
If I don't draw for New Mexico, and you pull an either sex elk and a muley tag, I'll go with you. If I don't draw for New Mexico.
If I buy an
Yeah.
over the counter one,
Exactly.
$661
No, it's $1,000 for both.
for both. It's like
Pull both.
$661 plus $350 something.
It's 1,011 or something like that.
There you go.
Whatever. Yeah.
Check out the big brain on Brad over there.
I like the alliteration. I mean, I appreciate that.
So, I should know June, maybe July at the latest about New Mexico draw.
Are you going to go in archery season?
yes.
We got to get with it.
Whereabouts are you looking at?
You have units in mind?
In southern Colorado, or
So
I think the term SoCal should be so
so
coal. Because fuck Southern California. Like, that place could melt and die. So coal. You looking for so coal?
So, Units 371 is off the radar. It is not in the top 24.
anymore.
Well, I mean, 7 people listen to this podcast. Not going to ruin it.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. My mom doesn't hunt elk, so it's cool. So Unit 371, which is a unit right outside of, it's like 2 hours outside of Denver, is not in the top 24% of tag or of like success rates. So there's good elk population there. You can get off into some deep wilderness back there. It's in the Eagle's Nest Wilderness, Eagle's Nest National Forest. I guess it's the wilderness. It's not national forest. It's wilderness.
It is national wilderness.
It's a wilderness, yeah.
what's the difference between national forest and wilderness?
Wilderness has like zero access with vehicles. Like some national forest land you can access with vehicles, like
I don't think.
four-wheelers.
Can you even access wilderness with animals?
I don't even know.
That's
National forest, you can ride horses up.
yeah, or llamas or other stuff.
You can ride horses here. I know that for a fact. At this place.
Wilderness is like super untouched.
Yeah.
There's no ATV trails. They don't access it. I don't think there's fire roads even.
Are these like incorporated inside of national forest?
Yeah, it's part of a bigger
There's
national
chunks
forest
of-
system.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. This is in the White River National Forest, and it is the Eagle's Nest Wilderness within that, inside of that. So that's where my brother and I have gone backpacking a couple times, and so we kind of looked at that as a place to go the other day. And there's some places you can just haul off and get lost. I mean, there's some
Get
But-
deep.
yeah, but that's a it's 13 hours from here to the trailhead.
We drove 13 hours to Chama last year. It's always the drive out. No problem.
It's the drive
It's the
back.
drive back sucks.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
It's
Yeah.
Amarillo. That's the problem.
Amarillo sucks.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but it's, I don't know. I see it as like at that point you're only 5 hours from Dallas.
Yeah,
If you can make Amarillo, I don't know. I see it as I'm obviously like you said that because I'm from there and it sucks.
Yeah.
But I see it as almost like fuck. I'm in Texas. I'm not that far from home.
might as well just knock
Well,
this out.
it's because you're heading when you're heading out that
Once-
western direction. I don't know which way you guys take, but
I'm
when-
coming back.
75.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, coming back
I'm
is
saying
the worst.
you're on that long stretch out to something that you're looking forward to, and then when you're coming back, you kind of hit all the milestones really early, and then you have this giant
Between
drive
Amarillo and New Mexico
back.
border sucks.
Yeah. Well, I think the
Albuquerque to Amarillo.
from Amarillo down here is the worst
Yeah,
part.
it's pretty
Yeah.
bad. But I've done it so many times. To me, it's
Yeah, I've done it dozens of times. Yeah, and I still like the drive out there better than the way back. It's nicer.
the drive back's the worst because you're tired and ready to be home.
Ugh.
That's why I say that.
Speed traps.
There's some speed traps.
75.
35. Yep.
It's the
Seriously.
worst. Was that 287?
Yeah.
Yep.
No fun.
Well, and we'll be coming back this way, and it'll be snowing all the way, and then we'll hit Texas, and it'll just ice all
Yeah.
down the highway, and we're just stuck. That's happened several times.
Yeah.
So, I'm not a big fan of it.
Ugh.
Luckily, during bow season up there, you won't
Still
get
warm.
into that.
Yeah, it's still September, so.
It's still hot.
Even though 2 years ago it snowed on us in August, we were at like 10,000 feet though. 10.5, I think.
That's pretty high up. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I was really looking at staying in like San Juan and stuff like that.
Oh, that's Southwest.
San Juan Valley
San Juan National Forest.
San Juan National
National
Forest.
Forest.
There's good numbers down there. So there's a website I found called Backcountry Chronicles, backcountrychronicles.com. They have a pretty cool website that'll allow you to get some detailed information about different states, but Colorado in particular. Just like odds, like success rates from prior years. So like they have 2016 currently up there. That'll show you, the unit, the number of hunters, the number of kills, the success rate and everything, which is pretty nice. But those units up by the Wyoming border are the way to go. That's like 23 or 24% success rate. Some of those are trophy units that you got to draw for, but some of them are over the counter. So you could draw a tag up there. I mean, just over the counter hunt up there, but that's a freaking haul, Up to the northwest corner of Colorado.
Well, in Colorado, the one that has the call service where you can call in and
Yeah,
talk
they have
to
a
actual
straight
like,
up a hunt planner.
Yep.
You can
Yeah.
go.
Absolutely.
and it's dudes that have been doing it for a while and they know what the
They
hell
were
they're
tired to answer phones and talk about hunting,
Yeah.
which sounds awesome.
It's like a state service.
Yeah.
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 They have
wow.
They have hunt
You
planners.
can just call. Yeah, you
call
just
some
call
old
them and
dude
be
who
like,
works
hey,
for
I'm
the state of
thinking-
Colorado, and they'll just be like, "Hey, I want to hunt elk. I'm thinking about this," and he'll walk you through. Like, you buy this, you do this, you gonna do over the counter draw. You do this, you do that.
Try to go
Just
here.
walks you through the whole thing.
Yeah, that's like amazingly helpful.
Yeah, the Colorado is probably the model of like how to
Of hunting and conservation.
hunting and
combined.
conservation, like especially out of state, right? So, I mean, it's staggering to see in-state. So, if I was a citizen of Colorado, I could go elk hunting for $41.
Yeah.
It cost me $661 because I live in the state of Texas, or just out of the state.
New Mexico, resident elk draw. The guys I'm going in with, they pay $60. I paid $800
Wow.
to enter the draw.
Now you get that money back if you don't draw,
Great,
but
yes.
you got to front it
It's
until
I'm fronted
the
for
result.
Yeah.
3 months, so
Yeah.
I can't just float it on a credit card.
That's an awesome interest program they have then. That's nice. Yep. What's the so the success rate is what compared to other states?
It
It depends on the unit.
Depends on unit.
Depends on
Yeah,
unit.
the unit itself is really going to dictate that.
And you know, Colorado, you get preference points. New Mexico,
Nothing.
nothing.
Straight up.
Like, cool, you didn't draw.
Just
Thanks,
go
buddy.
a whole lifetime without.
And, but I'll give them this on when you enter the draw, and you have to buy your license if you didn't already. You can check a box like if I don't draw, refund my license fee also, which is only like $70. But they'll refund like everything. If you don't draw, you can be 100% free and clear. I kept my license because I thought I was going to turkey hunt, and I am now. But yeah, that you can pay all this. Granted, you got to pay it off unless you want to pay credit card interest rates, and then they'll refund it.
Yeah, that's nice then.
Yeah, but no preference points.
Yeah.
So that's that.
So, what about some unspoken rules about just kind of like etiquette? From an
First
etiquette
come,
standpoint?
first serve.
Exactly.
That is probably the biggest one. If you go somewhere, there's someone already sitting.
They won.
Yep.
I've given up my good spots to people duck hunting. No,
Exactly.
many times because I didn't wake
And
up
that is-
early, or they got there super early. I don't remember. Like, was it all of us last year? Look at that Jeep.
Yeah, the Jeep dudes.
The dudes in the Jeep were always there. Like, we got there early as shit, and they were there.
They
and every
beat
month,
us. They
every
beat
time
me
I'm like,
twice.
cool. They've got it. But I've been sitting on a tank, and people set up across the tank, which is not 100 yards, and flashlight and flash, and then finally start yelling like, "Hey, you ain't sitting there!" Like, well, we're sitting here. Like, you're gonna get fucking shot then. Like, we were here. We chose this, so we expect 45 degrees in either direction at minimum. Like, come on, don't be a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Sit 90 degrees to me. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
And if they blow by me coming straight at you, it's your ducks, man. I don't care. But first come, first serve. If I'm there, it's mine.
That's just a smart way to do
It's
do it.
public land.
I mean, even from a standpoint of like, I mean, so there's a lot of strategy. I mean, that's the thing is a lot of people just don't want to take into account the strategy of that, right? So, you know, like I go out and I look at a dove field, for instance, and I look at where people are at, and I'm going to set up. I try to get into my number one spot, but then I'm going to take into account where people are out and set in to where I know birds are flying. So if I know birds are going to fly in some particular place, I may set up in a secondary location that nobody gives a fuck about. But what I know what's going to happen is they're going to blow by these group of guys. These guys are going to shoot the shit out of them, or they're going to miss all of them, which is 99% of the time what happens. And then you know what? You got birds in front of you all day long. So it's about using strategy. So and like Austin was saying, I mean, there's a lot of common courtesy, right? You get there first. It's your spot. But don't sit across from somebody. Don't go post up next to somebody. Just have some common courtesy of like treat people like you would treat yourself. You know, like you would want to be treated. And
Yeah, like, would you want somebody to set up directly across the tank from you? Do you want
Absolutely
somebody
not.
sitting 30 yards to your right?
No.
No. Like, they were there first.
Well, and it goes the same way if you're there, like you said, like the flashlight flash.
Yeah,
Let
like,
people know where you're at.
give them the opportunity.
We talked about
They may
this.
not know.
Like with the Jeep guys, when we set up with them, we talked in the parking lot before we even went out. Like, hey, which way y'all headed? You know, we'll head the opposite way, so we knew where everyone was at. So we knew that we weren't even gonna be close to setting up.
I know
next
where
to
they
them.
were at now.
Yeah, so do I. They told me.
Yeah, and me and Max went and scouted it. They're out on
Good.
that. They're out on that inlet.
Yep.
So next year we're taking their spot. But that's a wrap.
Dude, good luck. Good luck, because those
Those dudes
I-
get there like 2 o'clock in the
Yeah,
morning.
I tried to
'Cause
take
we've
their
gotten there
spot.
at like 3:30, 4 o'clock,
Me-
and the Jeep's like parked and cold.
Camp out.
You can't.
No.
No.
Yep.
But
Me-
if
me-
I get that van, I'm
down by the
sleep
river,
in the van.
gonna put cots in that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't camp out, but you can sleep in a van.
me
Car's
and
parked.
me and
It's not camping,
Gonzo,
it's just in a truck.
me and Gonzo went out there. Like I made him get up super early and meet me out there.
Yeah.
He lives way further than I do, so he had to wake up
Way
like
further?
super
like
super
midnight.
Like
And-
so much further.
And we drove out there, and I was super excited because I was like, dude, we're going to beat these guys. We're going to go to that spot. Like, I wanted that spot. I pull around the corner, and those guys were already in their waders,
Dude.
already, like, about to walk out. And I jumped out
Hey,
of the
but it's
truck.
there every hunt I was there, their Jeep was parked and cold and dark. Like,
Yep.
they were already sitting out there drinking coffee and making fun of us.
Yep.
It's crazy.
I told Mozambique I'm a gold star because they definitely beat me. That was for damn sure.
And more power to them.
Heck
That's
yeah,
part of it.
that's part
I
of
mean,
it.
those dudes hustled.
But and that goes to the other thing.
They probably
is,
live local too. They don't drive an hour.
Is
Which
when you scout public
whatever.
land, don't just scout one spot. Scout several. Have backup plans. Have a plan A, plan B, plan C.
have some tricks.
Yep.
We've got
Yeah.
some tricks.
Exactly. There's always creative ways to think outside the box, which is what you got to do if you're gonna do anything properly. Just think really outside the box.
Yep.
I mean, the biggest thing is the golden rule. Think of how you want people to treat you, and do it the same with public land because we all got to share it. Encourage people to go out there.
Yeah, take new
and
people with you.
Make people want to go out there.
Yeah, most
Take-
certainly.
Take new people with you.
I like from a deer perspective. I think the biggest thing is looking for, like you said, plan A and plan B, but just just get creative. I mean, that's the biggest thing, and I just said it is just be super creative in what you're doing. So don't try to outthink things. Getting far away is really obviously a good measure, but deer are
Not
smart enough
always.
to know.
Exactly. We had this
Um,
discussion
yeah.
on a recent podcast. If there's some crazy thick bullshit 100 yards from the parking lot,
They're probably in there.
because they know you're going to go back into the thin shit.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever you don't want to go, that's probably where they want to go.
And they
And that's probably
pattern-
where the rest of the hunters do not want to go also.
Yeah, I think with like ducks, they're not going to really change their pattern. They're just going to kind of do what they do, right? I mean, ducks are not going to start feeding in the middle of the afternoon all of a sudden on public land. Do you think?
No, ducks don't feed in the afternoon
Yeah.
in the least bit.
But deer, on the other hand, I mean, just looking at our trail cam pictures again, I was reviewing a bunch of that stuff the other day, and I mean, there's so many times that deer are moving at 11:30, 12:30, 1 o'clock. So it's
Deer are different than duck, though.
Yeah.
They develop different patterns. Duck are pretty. They come and feed early morning, especially when it's cold. And that's what people don't understand. Like, why do you go out so early when it's cold as fuck? Because they're cold as shit too, and they need calories to keep them warm.
Yep.
So they get up and go feed, and that's what you're looking for. Them getting up to go feed, and then mid morning they're gonna go find a place to roost up and nap in the sun. They're gonna stay warm. They're gonna be moving around a little bit. And then the evening, go do the same thing. On public land, you can't hunt the evening most of the time for duck to give fair chase. But the morning, you gotta be there at sunrise. Because, I mean, we've all seen these ducks fly. I mean, you're 3 minutes before shooting light, and you see these shadows, and you're like, fuck, they're flying.
yeah,
And especially wood ducks, they fly early.
Yeah.
Like at dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Like at shooting light, you start shooting because they're there. They're moving
there,
already.
yeah.
So, yeah, that's the idea behind that. Deer, like you said, they pattern a little differently. They'll get in different, if there's something that's bothering them early, or if they're bedded down in different places, they'll move different times of day.
Mm-hmm.
Deer move more at dawn and dusk, like most animals, but you can get late morning stuff.
Yeah,
Ducks, not really.
it is what it is, right?
It is what it is.
Get into a spot and hunt
Yeah,
hard.
yeah, hunt it out.
I'm so excited about deer season this year.
And too.
I can't wait.
I just want to kill something with my bow on public land.
Yeah,
I'm hoping turkey's gonna be it. In New Mexico.
get it. Now, Jordan, you brought up a good point when we were kind of game planning for this earlier, which was just kind of talking to people in the parking lot. You roll up into a parking lot, and what was kind of your advice again?
We just actually talked about that, and the main thing is that it's not really giving up your spot. If you tell people where you're going to be at, it just makes it safer for you and everybody else to kind of just let people know where you're going, where you're at, especially if you're by yourself. Someone decides that they get bored out in their stand or out duck hunting or whatever. You decide to walk around, you know what area someone's probably still hunting at, and you don't walk up on them through the brush. don't ruin their hunt. Don't make it. They make them think that something's coming through the brush at them.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just good to know where people are at. Like, I know at Ray Roberts, we've been hiking back the coast from those couple inlets down at that one spot we hunt. I've definitely walked up and seen decoys out on main water and thought, holy shit, there's ducks out there, and then realized, like, oh, somebody's hunting over there. We should cut wide around them. I think, Jordan, you were with me that time.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up cutting, go way around, like, all right, we're not going to fuck up their hunt.
That's the other thing. When you know someone's out there, think of someone else's hunt.
Be cognizant.
Yeah, pay attention. You pay attention as much to your hunt as theirs because it is public land. You don't want to bust up somebody else's hunt on the way back just because you gave up. Just because your hunt was shitty doesn't mean theirs was.
And we've actually set out longer on a point because we knew we'd have to go back through someone else's spread.
Mm-hmm.
We set out there after we gave up, and
We've just hiked a whole bunch of bullshit after because that's how we found our spot.
Yep.
Was because we decided, fuck it, this is miserable, and we got people south of us. So we started walking, and we found that big old swamp, and it was raining. I've got GoPro video of it.
Yep.
Yep.
We have a new spot too. I'm excited about duck hunting this year.
New.
Duck hunting's where it's at this year for me.
Oh yeah. Well,
I might say both this year, especially if they're on the same lake.
dude, that's a long day. It's good, but getting up at 2 a.m. to drive out somewhere and set up until 10 or 11 o'clock, and then heading out, especially if it's the same lake.
Yeah. What you were doing last year,
That's
you're a far better man than myself.
That's long days
No
to
way.
go. And
I'm all about sleeping in a deer stand.
well, with your trick of tying yourself in, that's pretty good.
You told me that trick though.
What's that?
Put your lineman's belt around up under your armpits.
Oh yeah.
Auto
Was it-
asphyxiation.
I
What
didn't.
they call that?
No, that's around your neck, Jordan. God.
Asphyxiation.
I swear it was you.
I don't
'Cause
know.
that's what I mean. When we hunted Pat Mays that weekend, put it up under your armpits and pull it pretty tight, so you can put on your weight on it, and you can just kind of lay on and sleep on it. It's fine.
That's true. Sleep in your deer stand.
Yeah, easy.
It's
'Cause
one thing
you've got your harness on, so that that's not the worry. Is just leaning forward. So if you hook it up under your armpits and deep on the tree,
Yeah.
so it's at an angle, man, you can tighten it up just enough so you can put your weight on it and you don't move forward. You can just crash out.
Yeah.
Couldn't have been more. I was comfortable.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No problem.
He was out. Yeah, that's
Easy.
Those are the kind of things of getting creative, of learning how to take advantage of what you've got. So I guess last question I have is, what type of animals can you even go after on public land?
Here in Texas, there is a plethora of animals you can go after.
Oh yeah.
It's a big SAT word.
Yeah. Good job, Jordan. Good job.
Plethora. These guys are assholes.
We are. You could obviously there's plenty of deer hunting by bow mostly. There's some shotgun deer hunting.
Pigs.
There's a lot of pig hunting.
Birds.
Bow. There's a lot of bow pig hunting. There's a lot of shotgun. There's very little rifle pig hunting. Bow and shotgun are your two biggest ends to public land hunting.
No,
Absolutely.
why is that? Why
It's
can't
it's
you
bullet
use-
travel.
Yeah.
It's bullet travel and safety.
Yeah.
I mean, a shotgun slugs, you got 200 yards maybe if you're lucky. At 200 yards, it probably wouldn't kill you. It hurt like shit. A bow, clearly, unless you put a fucking mortar arc on that thing, you ain't getting anything out of it.
Especially as thick of everything.
Yeah,
It's not
there's
gonna.
so
You're not
many
gonna
trees
get.
and shit in Texas. This isn't like hunting
The
Colorado.
rifle is just going to punch right through.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I think it's just the size of the places more than it is so you're
some
on.
of these places are only like 700
Yeah.
acres.
I've hunted on
So
a
you
place
just don't have a lot of distance around.
Yeah, if you got
No,
250
you're only plugging
acres.
308 and
Yeah.
6.5.
and it's flat. Everything's usually pretty closely flat.
Yeah, it's pretty
and
flat.
Trees and shit. I mean, there's always that chance of the inherent off round of just of bullshit. Like no one wants to get caught with a random ass rifle round, 30 caliber high speed round.
Exactly.
So an arrow is going to hit something and glance off. Shotgun slug has no range whatsoever in the first place, much less bouncing off a branch. It's just safety.
Yeah.
Because it's tight quarters. It's not like Western hunting. It's not like these Colorado, New Mexico wildernesses where you have
250,000 acres.
this unit's 250,000 acres.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, no, it's more like for somebody who doesn't know a lot of people that
Sure.
have land that I can go and hunt all the time, then it's
hence why we all bought bows.
right. Yeah, yeah.
That's literally the only
And-
reason
and-
I bought
right,
bow.
and that's why Jordan's gonna lend me his old rig.
Sure. And that's why I bought a bow. Is like, man, I want to deer hunt more, and I don't know enough people with private land that's not closer than 10 hours away.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, and Jordan took me on my first deer hunt,
Sure.
and that was, I mean, that meet lasted me an entire year, and that was awesome. And now I'm out of it, and now I don't like it.
Being out of it.
Kill more
Being
shit.
out of the meat, yeah, I don't. It's
That's where you start getting to birds and fish, and you fill
Yeah,
the freezer.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
pigs.
yeah.
Pigs,
A giant ass
pigs are the biggest
pig will
one.
fill a freezer. I've got this freezer full and 2 freezers downstairs.
Off of one pig.
No,
Well, multiple pigs.
off all the things. There's fish
Off
in
the
there.
things.
There's birds in there.
I need the meats.
Yeah, you need the meats, man. Let's go kill shit.
Yeah.
People are like, you're gonna eat that? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna eat that. I like it. Squirrel. I mean, granted, I didn't kill this squirrel, but I don't consider this buying meat because my buddy shot it. This is an animal that didn't come in cellophane.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
Absolutely.
you gotta look outside of it. I think it was delicious. I'm probably gonna drink a few more beers and eat the rest of those sliders.
Yeah.
You know, it's you thinking outside the box.
100%.
Like just
So good.
deer. When people say, "Oh, I want to hunt for meat," but there's not enough options. Well, you're only thinking about deer.
Yeah. There's
And
possum.
yeah. I mean,
I mean, you
there's
could
a
eat
lot
possum.
of there's a lot of people who would eat who eat pigeon.
Pigeon.
I wouldn't eat city pigeon because they're living off like fucking bottle caps and cigarette butts and
Yeah.
crayons.
Pigeon are just dove, right?
Yeah, they're
Exactly.
literally they're a cousin of dove. Absolutely. If you can find a pigeon, a wild pigeon, or a pigeon near like a grain elevator, that's corn-fed dove.
Yeah. Big corn-fed
If you
dove.
find if you're savvy enough to identify Eurasian dove, which they're bigger, and there's a couple identifying marks. I'm not going to try to guess those and put ourselves in a liability situation.
Yeah.
But if you can identify Eurasian doves, those are legal year-round.
Oh.
They're big. You can eat them. You can skin them out and cook them like Cornish game hens. They're big. They're big doves, like tiny chickens. So there's lots of options. I mean, squirrel, rabbit.
All the seasons.
Yeah,
Turkey.
there's fish. Go catch a bunch of fucking fish. I had a big discussion recently on Instagram with a bunch of people about bass. I've eaten bass a couple times and not a big fan. And someone started a discussion and said it's really funny to me that when in the 1980s when bass fishing became popular and bass fishing tournaments became a way of making a living, that all of a sudden bass became gross. Quote. They're like, bass is fine. I was like,
I eat bass.
I've eaten it. And then a bunch of dudes, I said on there, I was like, I don't have a problem with anyone keeping anything within slot limit because there's a reason and there's biologists behind this who know way more about this than I do. They wouldn't set a slot limit if that was the issue. Because all these fishermen dudes, you know, I know we're probably gonna get some hate for this, but everybody's so catch and release. So you gotta throw this back for the genetics. If you don't cull some fucking bass, you're not gonna get big bass because
Yeah.
the food sources disappear. You have to cull bass.
Yeah, you got to
Big or not. You catch a giant one, the giant ones, maybe wormy. Mid-size, just in slot limit, keep them, eat them. You got to cull some bass. But a bunch of guys responded and said, we'll circle back. I said, I have nothing against keeping slot limit bass. I just never have enjoyed it. You know, what do people have to say? And I got a ton of responses, and people said, soak it in lemon juice and garlic, batter it in saltine crackers, like a bunch. I'll try it all. Why not?
deep fry it. I mean, anything.
I mean,
is
yeah.
good
Then
deep
they all
fried.
said fry it for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna try it. Why not? Whatever. I know crappie's delicious.
Oh, my
I've got
God.
crappie frozen right now. I just don't have enough to matter yet. But deep fry some, like, catch a bunch of bass. I'm gonna try it. Bass is fun to catch.
If this wind would ever lay down, we'd go catch some.
I know, right? But there's a whole mantra around what you can eat, and in Texas, I feel like the mindset of eating what you kill and eating what you hunt is 100% whitetail. Nobody thinks you can eat or considers anything you can eat other than whitetail.
Yeah, I would.
Like
I would
it's when you say, "Oh,
say
I
that's
killed
true.
this," I'm like, "Oh, so this is deer?" Like, no, this is not deer. This is this. I really like. I just think,
well, it's just so common.
yeah, because
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
there's so many. I mean, they say nationally there's more whitetail now than there was when Columbus landed, but who knows about that number? But whitetail's so cultivated now, and slot limits, and buck, no buck. Nobody wants to kill does anymore. Because everybody wants a big buck. I'll kill a fucking shit pile of them. I don't care.
Shit pile of
A
does.
shit pile of dough.
Shit
How many
pile.
doe is that?
That's about 12.
It's
12.
14 because
14.
That's 14.
Because a baker's dozen is 12, a baker's dozen is 13, a shit pile's 14.
Is that
Gentlemen.
a Kirkworth?
So there's
That's a weight.
so I just don't think anybody thinks of things being edible outside of whitetail. They really don't.
Well,
Because
also
the-
it's
in-
a lot of meat
That
for the effort.
and because Texas is so private, people have
Yeah.
their leases. On their leases, they only kill deer.
Well, that's why I never hunted because I didn't
Yeah,
know
exactly.
anybody that knew anything about having land that would hunt.
Or anything. Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I just don't think people think outside the box of, oh, I'm gonna go hunt. Like, oh, you're deer hunting? That's the immediate response. Oh, you're going deer hunting? No, I'm going squirrel hunting. No, I'm going rabbit hunting. No, I'm going turkey hunting. It's all edible.
Yeah.
We ate squirrel today, and I mean, I'm biased, and I'll eat almost anything. But I thought that squirrel today was pretty good.
Yeah, that was
It
good.
was awesome.
Yeah, it ate real easy.
It real easy. That real easy.
Well, we got all those rabbit a few years ago,
Mhm.
right? And you made all the sausage.
Rabbit boudin.
and yeah.
It's just because you have a chunk of meat doesn't mean you just have to cook a chunk of meat. We have wild boar lasagna in there right now, and it's legitimately a boar, not a sow. And everybody uses
it's
the
a
term.
giant boar.
Everybody uses the term wild boar. Well, there's boars and sows. A wild pig. There are flavor differences. This is what most people would consider an inedible sized pig. That pig was 180 something pounds.
He was a giant.
Giant ass pig. And we stripped the hams and back straps and everything off other than front shoulders because it doesn't matter. And we've eaten. I made 4 or 5 lasagnas now on just the grind. I haven't gotten into back straps. I haven't gotten into hams. I cooked a roast one day. Like, there's so much meat on these things people don't use. Look up all these recipes. There's some German Schweinenbraten recipe with dark beer and ground mustard, and it's a 12-hour sous vide. It's 24-hour. I'm gonna start that tonight. I'm gonna eat dinner tomorrow.
What was it called?
Schweinenbraten Grausch. I don't remember. Show notes. I can post a link to it.
Schweinenbraten?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh.
It's definitely not pork tartare.
But you also have, like you said, you've got exotic animals you can go hunt too.
Exactly.
So your nilguys, that's your axis, that's your black
nilgai
bucks,
are a
that's
hell
your...
of a source of meat, and you can wild hunt nilgai down way on the coast. I've got buddies who've hunted them out of bay boats. I'm not going to speak for the legality of that. I don't know where they were at. I know no details, but they've nilgai hunted out of bay boats. There's a shitload of them down there. If anybody doesn't know if anybody doesn't know the history of nilgai, we've talked about it before. It's brought in by the King Ranch to feed workers. They realized it was better than the cows they were breeding. This and that. They're the second largest antelope in the species, and they're delicious. Their tenderloins, backstraps are milder than whitetail. It's unbelievable. So those are things that are non-game. There's a couple draw hunts in Texas for them. Mm-hmm. There were some permits that went out because they were trying to cull some. None of us could make it down, but if you make it down to the valley, they had first come, first serve on permits to go kill a pile of them.
Yeah.
Like you could show up and kill. You had 3 or 4 bag limit, and each of those are big animals. I brought home one hindquarter, and one hindquarter is 50 pounds. That was bone in, but there's not 10 pounds of bone in there. So you start grinding and cutting, and you butcher that thing right.
Get a
You
bunch
get a
of.
pile of meat up there, and it's so good.
I want to, like I said, Axis is the next on my list. You know.
Agreed. What else? We've taken a lot of rabbit trails here.
We have.
This was our introductory podcast to the 8 Texas regions.
Yeah. So just public land in general, kind of questions that highlight, things that we would want to know or needed to know when we started our little journey on public hunting. So be on the lookout. These episodes are going to start coming out over the next couple months, and we're going to be finished up with everything in time for deer and really dove and duck season and all of the seasons that you're going to utilize on public lands. We'll have all 8 regions. And so basically what we'll have a breakdown of every single aspect of a region, from all the different public lands, all the means and methods, all the animals you could take within that region, and really kind of dive into it, in extreme detail to get ready for the upcoming season. So,
Jordan, concluders.
Concluders.
Polluters.
You get to go next. Don't worry.
Be thinking.
Jordan.
So, basically, like Abe was saying, these public lands are there for you. You need to use them. We need to... What?
Nothing.
Your fucking face.
Sitting here.
that's how
That's how ugly you are.
That's fine. Continue. God.
you ruined it.
Yeah.
Austin,
Austin.
you do a concluder because Jordan's angry for some reason.
Well, as somebody who doesn't hunt a lot and who relies on guys like you to do this kind of stuff, where we show what the point of public lands are and how we can utilize them to best advantage, that's really helpful. So I appreciate it. As someone who stepped in last minute to just
We
Kinda
we
pop
like
in.
having random people on. Absolutely, it keeps us from just melting down our own black hole of bullshit.
yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate a fourth party.
No, yeah, I appreciate it. You know, it's nice.
No
to,
questions.
It's nice to
I
hear
mean,
what we.
concluder can be questions too.
I got a million questions.
Fire away.
Not now.
Yeah.
Well, Jordan, back to you for your concluder.
Hit you with his best shot.
Oh yeah, you're gonna hit me with your best shot.
Hit me
Fire
with your
away.
best shot.
Well, so the next podcasts are going to be about each region
Region.
individually and what
Yep.
the
It
benefits
probably won't be
of,
the exact next.
Uh-huh.
It depends on what's going on, but a lot of this stuff takes a lot of time to figure out. We're trying to cut down other people's, like you, of finding it, because it does take a long time. Like,
Yeah.
we're 2 years in,
Kinda
and
cut
we're
the
still
learning
finding
curve.
places that
Yeah.
we're like, oh crap, I didn't see that place that was so close.
Yeah, there's a wealth of information that, I mean, just from an outsider looking in, it's like it's overwhelming. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's nice to see somebody
And that's our
else
plan,
doing
is
the-
to kind
the
of try to make that a little
footwork.
easier.
Well, and the reason why we decided to do these podcasts is because we've been doing a lot of events for BHA, and a lot of people that come up to us don't know about BHA, which is Backcountry Hunters and Anglers, and they go, "Oh, I didn't know Texas even had public lands."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and they're like,
yeah.
they're older dudes, like
4
you know,
years ago, I would never have been able to even say that. Yeah, there was some place we could go to do hunting on a public land. Not a chance. I would like, yeah, no, I need to know somebody. You know, that's
Exactly.
And that's kind of takes us back to the beginning of this whole podcast. Was Grinch was talking about it, like when I was a kid, I hunted all the time, but I never knew about public lands. No one ever talked about it. No one ever said anything. It was just such spot that was missing in my hunting life, and I probably would have hunted more as a kid if I would have known more about it.
I absolutely would have hunted more as a kid.
Yeah. When I moved to Dallas, I didn't know about public land. I would have bought a bow long before a couple of years ago if I would have known there was more options. I would have gotten way better at it than I am now, and just gone and put forth the effort.
100%.
So is that your concluder?
Yep.
What's your concluder, Abraham?
My concluder is
So violent.
just thanks to Raptor Knives. Thanks to
Yeah.
Onyx Maps.
Raptor Knives. Hashtag Raptor Razor.
Raptor Razor. We're 100% on board with Raptor Razor knives, and super excited to get our hands on our first couple. I've been stalking those guys for a couple of years now, and I'm super excited to finally get to get one, and it'll be here on Monday. So
Yeah, that'll be good.
that's about it.
I've had multiple skinning knives.
Yeah.
I've got multiple cutting knives that I carry with me. I'm excited to have a set to learn to use carry on its own.
Yeah. It's
It'll
gonna be neat.
spin a joint like that and have the skinning knife on the back.
Yeah.
And they say since the blades, offset a little bit
Yeah.
on the backside, the skinning blade,
It makes it a
helps
little bit
helps
easier.
pull it off the meat, which I'm excited to see.
I'm
Absolutely.
exactly. So that'll be fun.
Definitely.
But other than that, guys, go out to our website, check us out. We got hats and we got stickers and for sale. That's a great way to support us. The very, very best way you could support us is by subscribing to this podcast and leaving us a review
Yep.
and a comment. Just let us know what we're doing right or wrong. We love talking to you guys via social media as well. So you can check us out at Stormwater Creek on any of the variety of social medias. And tag us in your pictures. Hashtag Stormwater Creek. If you send it to us, we'll feature you on the social media. Oh, that hurt. Oh, that hurt so bad. So there it is.
There it is.
That's it. So Jordan just got punished for bad behavior. Now there's a war going on between Austin and Jordan. So. But we appreciate you guys listening to us. Thank
you all.
Dealing with
Thanks
us.
to
with
Onyx
rabbit
Maps.
sheddings.
Thanks to Raptor Knives.
Yeah, huge
We'll see y'all next week.
Peace.